Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Hi, everyone, and thanks so much for allowing us to have this Shires moment. It was really fun for me to be invited to be a part of this and to be able to share this moment with you, Joe. So we thought we would just chat a little bit about instruments, manufacturing, of course, if anybody has any questions. But I think it might be kind of fun to chat about your experience and kind of maybe how we built your model together. That was a really fun time.
Yeah. Well, as instrument making gets more there's more technology and in the making of the instrument, it always is a good idea if you're at an event like this and you see a bunch of trombones to try something out. And I think that's kind of what happened. If I go to an ITF, I'll go over to Kahn, I'll go over to Yamaha and so forth, and Bach. I used to play a Bach. All these things are good horns. Bach, Edwards, but there's something that as the technology gets better, it's always you have to keep trying these things and investigate. It's fine to play on one horn for your whole life, but and if it's not broke, maybe don't fix it. But for me, when I was introduced to Shires, I found the instrument to be something I was missing in what I was playing previously, and there's a number of reasons why I love playing the Shires, but the response, the tone color, the ability to change equipment, bells. Okay, so I was missing out on that previously, and I wanted to get back into the modular instrument. So that was very important to me. In addition to that, so how did we find this model? We did a lot of experimenting in the hall. Now our hall's torn apart, but in the fall we'll go back to the brand new concert hall, and I'll probably try see how the instrument feels, and if the hall is different, I always could go back and try another component and see, and I could always have my colleagues listen to me, which is I really rely on that. So a lot of the testing is with the section, okay, and so getting feedback from Chris Martin or Albert or whoever, and trusting their ears, but also recording it. So we did some recording. I was able to hear back the differences. So I always go through a lengthy testing process, and so again, you just never know. You never know after 20 years if there's something that's better, unless you try. So it's not something that I like to do every week, okay, or every month. Of course I want to stay on the same instrument, but again, when you look at 20 years of time, it's always good to check out what's out there.
One thing that I just want to add too is the process that Joe is describing with testing an instrument and trying these components and finding the right fit for you. He's talking about playing it for colleagues, he's talking about recording, he's talking about testing different pieces and bells and things. This is the same kind of process that we encourage everyone to take. It might be in a shorter amount of time. It might be in our factory, in our showroom or something. It might be with a dealer. It might be at an ITF like Joe suggested. It might be here at Trombone Day. But being able to really find something that's suited for you as a player is a really important thing, and something that we love as a company is being able to tailor instruments to you. And I feel a little bit silly. I didn't introduce myself. My name's Sam Lane. I'm the director of the Alessi Shires company. But one of the things that's so important to us is that most of our company, our soul is being a brass player. I would say 9 out of 10 people that work at our shop are brass players. We have a brass ensemble. We all get together. Even all of the craftspeople who are making the instruments play.
Good,
So
they're very good brass players.
they're very good brass
Yeah.
players. Our Christmas party, Joe
Yep.
was soloing with the brass ensemble. It was pretty awesome. So we come to it from that same kind of passionate place that you all do, and we really know what it feels like when you have equipment that makes a difference for you as a player, whether it's your morning routine or you're playing with the Philharmonic in the evening.
And if you go to the factory, you can have, 3 or 4 people listening while you try out a horn. People will be busy doing things, and Sam might say, hey, so-and-so, excuse me, so-and-so, please come over and listen to this. Tell me what you think. So we'll have 3 or 4 people guiding you through the process, and so that's really nice. And they all know what they're doing. And also the company is just amazing. They're expanding. They're very visible. They have distribution all over the place. And so if somebody wants to try a horn, I can easily recommend a retail outlet for people to try. So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of that, like accessibility, one of the things that's really important to us is being visible, like you said, making sure that people have access to horns. The Q Series. The Q Series is a project that we were working on together right around the same time as developing your custom series model. Maybe you want to tell us a couple of your thoughts about that?
Well, yeah, the Q Series is a lower budget horn, but it doesn't play like one, so it really plays nice. The alto trombone Q Series is very popular.
Yeah.
So I'm playing on that every single day.
And we have that here along with the Q tenor
Yep.
and your custom tenor.
Yep. Right now I'm recording this, I don't know if you know the Saxa trombone concertino. Anyway, I'm doing the alto trombone version of it right now. And that ties in with my studio site, Alessi Music Studios, where you can play the contrabass version. Do you make a contrabass yet?
It's in the works for
Okay,
2023 probably.
Okay, wow. That's
Both a
cool.
Q series and a custom series, and I'm saying it live and on camera, and it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Promise you all.
You look like in a football game. So anyway, the Q series is there's a Q tenor, and to be honest, I'll be going back to work next week, and I leave my custom horn at work now, and I leave the Q series at home.
You practice
because
on the
it's-
Q.
Practice on the Q series, so I don't have to carry 2 instruments, and it feels that friendly, both of them.
Yeah. And that
The
Q,
differences, I'm not 100% sure about.
yeah, I mean, it's the Q tenor is modeled after the custom, and it's still compatible. So all of our Q series and custom series are compatible with each other, which gives you as a player so much more flexibility. So while the price point is lower than the custom, you have this incredible opportunity to find an instrument that suits your needs and continue to grow with it. Because we know instruments are expensive, and instruments are expensive for a variety of reasons. Materials, things like that, but also craftsmanship, also the people that are building the instruments. And so we take a lot of pride in the work that we do, but we want to find different price points to help players get into the perfect horn for them. So this Q Alessi tenor, this Q Alessi alto, they're incredible horns. So if you're over towards the exhibits later, I definitely encourage you to check them out.
Nicola Ferro, my friend in Italy, had an opportunity to try the Q series, and he really flipped out about it.
He was shocked, yeah.
And he was shocked at the price point.
Yeah.
So, over there. So
Yeah.
anyway, so yes, what are we going to develop next? We have to develop
Well, our scale cubes and our
Right, the
practice
scale
tools, those are fun.
band directors. If you want to scare your students and so they know all their scales, you just bring that cube in and flip it up in the air and say, today you will know your scales. And that's all you have to do, just that.
Or just bring it, put it down on the podium and just walk away.
Yeah.
And they're still scared. Yeah, they'll roll themselves.
There's other ways to learn scales, yes, but this is a little bit more random, and it's kind of a fun thing.
Yeah.
And even the student can flip it up in the air, and then the band director doesn't have to be blamed if B natural comes up, or F sharp.
It couldn't be helped. It was fate.
Yeah.
It's fate.
So anyway, but the Shires custom horn is yet to be developed, so we're,
For the alto.
for the alto.
Yeah,
So that's coming down the road.
Yeah, yeah. And we have a couple fun things coming up this spring too with the seminar in April.
Yes,
I'm sure you
correct.
can-
So I'm going back to doing my European seminar. The U.S. seminar is taking a break right now because my schedule just too busy at this point. But, so we're going back to Italy for maybe the 10th time in a place called Fossano, which is in Piemonte. And we had the Vienna Philharmonic trombone section coming to perform. We'll be performing together. And it's a lovely place. There's an old castle that we have the concerts in. And at any rate, we have auditors, okay, and we have, six Italians and 6 non-Italians that are in the class. So this is a deadline of March 15th to submit a recording for that.
So if you're looking for a place to go in April, highly recommended.
Yeah.
So, Karen.
I have a question. So Shires is obviously leaving the market, and I'm curious with, delays in shipping and materials and everything as a result of the pandemic, how has your organization pivoted during the last few years?
Wow, fun. The COVID pandemic for us was definitely, we tried to think of it as much as possible as an opportunity to reset. Before COVID, we were feeling really lucky. We had just announced this new relationship with Joe. Things were going really well. And it really allowed us to take a little bit of a pause right at the beginning and restructure some of our manufacturing techniques and some of the supply chain stuff, try to get ahead of it knowing that it was going to be probably pretty difficult for a while. And for that reason, we actually came through the pandemic and had like our 2 best years ever. It allowed us to restructure our shop. We hired some new craftspeople. We did have some delays, of course. We did have to close down for a period of time due to the state of Massachusetts, closing businesses and things. We've had people who have been out and ill, but able to recover and came back to work, and everybody is safe and healthy. And we did have to limit showroom appointments. We had to stop doing that for quite some time. But because of that, we tried to be as quick on our feet as possible. We introduced virtual appointments, and while it's not the same as being able to like get in and actually physically play a horn, and I know that, and I get that it's not as fun, it can be really helpful. I kind of think of it like trombone or trumpet or euphonium therapy. So you can jump on a Zoom call with us. We can talk through some of the things that you like or you dislike about your horn or what we might suggest. And then you have more information and tools to be able to go into a music store or see us at a different event. So it's just giving you more information so that you feel comfortable. Because some of this equipment stuff, it's complicated. And we know that, and we want to be able to be there to help you through it. Because at the end of the day, you should be able to play and feel confident and enjoy what you're doing. Because you spend much more time with your instrument than you spend with most people in your life. So let's take some of the scariness out of it and make it as easy as possible. But yeah, we ramped up a lot of social media. We started doing Shires TV and like a lot of different virtual master classes, things like that. We launched a new program called the Rising Artist Program at the company, and I'm super thrilled about that. That's for young musicians who are 25 and below. And it's not only a performance-based opportunity kind of thing and international recognition. For me, it was also really important to try to introduce opportunities for just professional well-being and rounding out some of the things that we don't necessarily learn in music school. So Karen had mentioned earlier, financial wellness and being able to feel confident in your own financial health as you grow in your career. Working on marketing and branding, working on body, mind, and wellness, like what Jeremy was talking about, some of these things that really, like if we can start working on them at a younger age and incorporating them into our professional careers, we're gonna be able to move mountains, and it's gonna be amazing. So this Rising Artist Program was a new thing. And now that things are coming back online and we can all kind of be together, the community aspect of the last 2 years feels absolutely incredible. And getting to see people that we interacted with virtually for the last, couple years and doing it in person and hearing people play, it means the world to all of us. So it's been a lot of fun. Sorry, it was long-winded.
Yeah,
But
and incidentally, we have George Curran in our section playing the bass trombone, and Colin Williams playing also the custom, his custom signature horn. So, yeah, it's nice to. Do I believe that everybody should play the same horn in the section? No, it just happened to be that way. So.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, anyway.
it's a fun family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions about horns or manufacturing or anything else related to like this side of the music business, which is a little bit different than just performance-based stuff?
How does one get into manufacturing and to have a job like yours?
So my role at the company is mostly related to sales, marketing, branding, and artist relations and getting to work with our artists. You wouldn't want me to build your trombone, I promise you that. I could like walk into the shop and bruise my arm walking into a wall. So me and spinning lathes is not a good idea. Most of our craftspeople, a lot of our craftspeople come to us with no experience. Like I said, most of them are actually players. They may live in New England or elsewhere in the country, but just have an interest in brass, have an interest in doing something with their hands, or had some experience being an electrician or some form of mechanic or something. Or not, or just a trombone player, and they just really love trombone and they want to build them. So we do a lot of on-site job training. We'll do a bench test, see what you're good at, and then we have various positions, whether it's in buffing, or actually assembling instruments, or doing some key fabrication parts. Bell spinning is awesome, so that's really fun to watch. Also big torches, fire, who doesn't love that? You've seen all those.
The other artist liaison is,
Yeah.
she's from Juilliard.
Oh, Alexis Smith.
Alexis Smith. And so she's very happy working there, and so you never know. I mean, if that's a career that you might want to get into, or subsidize what you're doing.
Yeah, like Alexis is a great example because she's an incredible trombone player. Manhattan School, Juilliard, and she's finishing a doctorate at Boston University. She freelances, she plays principal trombone in the Southwest Florida Symphony, and she works at Shires, and she works with all of the customers that are coming in, and she helps fit them for instruments. So for her, I hope I don't speak out of turn, and hopefully you can ask her and she says the same thing, but it kind of rounds out all the things that she loves about music. And for me, it's the same way. My background has all been in performance. I'm a trumpet player, so don't hold it against me too much. But my background was performance and masters at New England Conservatory and freelancing and doing lots of stuff. But at this point now, I run the company with my colleague James Monahan, who handles all of the manufacturing. And this is the most fulfilling thing that I've ever done in my career. So I don't necessarily miss playing all that much because I'm so surrounded by it, but I feel so motivated getting to work with people on this side. So just different for everybody. Yeah.
So, Mr. Alessi, I got a text message this morning from Joseph asking for a new main tuning slide. Is that what it was? And you mentioned it was important to you, the modular aspect of the Shire. So, is that because you're always looking for the best sound and making adjustments to reach that?
Yes. Well, I mean, the amount of possibilities are endless, okay? So if, they're when they make their parts, they're very consistent, but, you could make a couple trips there and come up something different. You definitely want to go home and play on it and test it in different environments, but it could be something as simple as a tuning slide. Put the tuning slide, lead pipe is huge. You change the lead pipe, it's a whole different horn. So, anyway, to have all of those all those variations at the factory is just, amazing. Because if you're not, this doesn't speak, this note doesn't slot the way, because, the way I blow and the way somebody else blows is very different. So you have to find the equipment that it matches with the way that you blow and the way that you play. So that's why there's so many different instrument makers. It's not just one instrument out there. But in the case of in Shires, we have amazing amount of resources for people listening, and all kinds of variations on every part.
Yeah, and in his case, and we were chatting a little bit yesterday, it's kind of like going to the eye doctor when you're talking about all these equipment changes. And to Joe's point, it really is just about like dialing it in for the player. So we were talking about a yellow brass tuning slide versus a gold brass tuning slide. And it's not necessarily just a color difference that you hear and you pick up for yourself or for your colleagues. You felt the same thing. Gold brass can actually have a difference in the response of the instrument. So your tuning slide is gold brass, and your hand slide outer tubes are gold brass as well. Not to mention the bronze rotor cap. So all these different alloys, it's not necessarily just a oral color thing, it's also a feeling thing for you behind the horn. And it might be, we were saying yesterday, maybe a little bit more shoulder room in the sound. It might give you a little bit more like room, or it may be that it softens the edges of the articulation, and that's a good thing for you, or maybe it's not. But for every player, it's a little bit unique. And that's why we feel really great about this modular system, because we can get you on a horn that you sound great on, but you can continue to make refinements as you grow as a player. And that's the thing that's really fun for people. Yeah. Anybody else have any dorky questions about equipment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had Utamaki here
Yeah.
last semester, and I noticed you'll have the same, that
Counterweight.
Yes.
started to talk a little bit about that.
What is it? Yeah, what is that thing? Yes. Well, anyway, first of all, if you like to have a counterweight, okay, and it's very different for each person, but so holding with the counterweight, you feel more balance, okay. The way this counterweight works is it comes off very easily. It's a magnet. Okay, and it's very strong magnet, so it doesn't fall off. But they have 3 different weights. Okay, so light, medium, and heavy. So you can, experiment. It may help you, it may not help you. I felt it had a little bit more stability. So if you have a nice car, okay, and you buy it and say, oh, this car's, very nice. Okay, and then somebody in the shop says, we can modify this car and give you a little bit more power, or we can change the exhaust, or we can change, the computer. Okay, it's a little modification. Is most people gonna notice? No, but for my colleagues, when I sit next to Chris Martin, he noticed right away.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I just felt it, that when you maybe have that weight on there, it tempers the vibration up on top, and the energy will go to a different place. Okay, so a lot of horns. Mr. Finlayson, who plays next to me, he prefers a counterweight. Not everybody does, but this is different because a lot of the counterweights are huge. This
Small,
very
okay.
small, and you can adjust it. So it's an innovative product that I'm enjoying.
Those are made in Japan by our friend and colleague Kazuhiro Sanada with
Yes.
Joy Brass and Sanada Corporation. They're really beautiful pieces, but they are small, and it's nice because you have that ability to make a change and not have it be.
You don't have to take the screwdriver out, and then you drop the weight on your bell, and
Whole different story.
things like that. Anyway, so it's again. When I played a tine instrument, they put little pieces of metal in weird places, and it changes it. Any piece of metal you put anywhere on the horn is going to make a difference. You would think, well, that's crazy. That can't happen.
The tension of your water key spring makes a
Yep.
difference in how a horn plays.
True.
It's enough to keep you up at night if you design instruments, which we do. We don't get much sleep. So, but to Joe's point, weight is a huge thing. So even when we were working on the detachable flare bell version of your horn, we went through a couple different iterations of cut bells just to get that balance right, because when you cut a bell, it's at a really critical place in the sound and the projection and the color. And so with Joe's horn, we wanted to kind of like temper some of those things so he still got the color and the brilliance and the projection and the refinement that he was looking for. So we went a few shades lighter on the bell for the cut bell version of it.
Right, because there's a collar on there, and that
That's
adds a
great.
little extra weight, and
Yeah.
so, anyway.
It's fun, dorky stuff, but
But, yes, if you came to Shires and, you're not me, okay, they will treat you like me, okay? They will, and it's true. I've seen them work with, people coming through, and, everybody gets that same kind of care and attention. So I like that very much.
thank you. We try.
Yeah.
We have fun. Great, awesome. Well, if anybody has any questions, I'll be over at the exhibits throughout the day, and definitely encourage you to come over, check out Joe's models, check out the rest of the stuff. You have CDs that are on my booth
Right.
as well.
CDs are like, yes, I know, they're like dinosaurs.
They're fun, though.
But I'm doing a special now. The new Slide Monsters CD is now out, Travelers, and I brought it here. There's 15 of them. If you buy one Travelers, you get my End of the Century CD for free,
It's a great deal.
for $15, so.
And we've got the Alessi scale and practice tools and Alessi Music Studio T-shirts
Right.
and things. So come, we have lots of fun swag items. But thanks for letting me chat with you all for a few minutes.
We'll do lunch now, and if you want to also check out the exhibitors, we'll be there from 1 to 2:15.
Finish, yeah.